Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily story with a chapter from one of my novellas. Before I start today's chapter, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this book and any of my other fiction, then they're all available from all major ebook retailers. You can order the paperback and hardback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore and local library if you requested. Also, if you want the AI generated audiobook, then you can get it from selected audiobook platforms and library systems like Kobo, Spotify, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Baker & Taylor, Biblioteca and Overdrive. Now, here's today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did writing it.
Chapter 2. The 15th of August 2023. Canterbury, England. Detective Graham Adams was so looking forward to when his beautiful sexy girlfriend Betty got home. He sat on their wonderfully soft black sofa in their large living room, with the bright golden sunlight of the late morning shining through the windows. Graham loved how the living room was the perfect sun trap because it was just heaven. He was more than grateful that they had decided to repaint the living room 2 weeks ago, because the bright white walls just reflected the sunlight a little too much, and it was blinding. Not exactly relaxing. Graham really liked the cream-colored walls that made the living room feel bright and airy without it being too blinding. The large blue rug on the floor was covered in baby toy walkers, blocks and all the other toys that Harrison and Elizabeth just loved throwing about. He seriously loved it that they were walking now, and they were even more of a nightmare together than they had been at 10 months old. Graham smiled at Harrison and Elizabeth as they walked about holding each other's hand, going toy to toy, inspecting each one like whatever they choose would be the only toy they could play with for a while. They were both wearing a matching blue baby grow, and Graham wasn't sure if he liked them always wearing matching things, but he couldn't deny they didn't look damn cute together. He just loved his kids and so did Betty. She couldn't wait for her to get back, and then she could watch, laugh and play with the kids like he had been doing all morning. That definitely had to be the best thing about being a floater detective with Kent Police, so he wasn't tied down to any one single department. And when no police department had work for him, or wanted him for being an incorruptible cop, he got stay at home and he was paid minimum wage. Graham just donated it to charity anyway, the advantages of having a millionaire girlfriend. Graham was a cop because he got to help people, not because it paid well. It had never paid well. A kitchen timer beeped a few times, and the entire house smelt wonderful with hints of garlic, rosemary and lemon, as the joint of lamb that their nephew Sean was cooking for a surprise lunch for Betty was almost finished. Graham enjoyed the mutterings and random words Harrison and Elizabeth were saying, as they decided to play with a small blue walker that they were slightly too big for now, but the kids loved it, so Graham hardly had the heart to get rid of it. Sean and his boyfriend Harry were in the kitchen, talking about random university stuff that Graham really didn't understand. He didn't do engineering at university, so he wasn't really sure what the lovers were talking about, he was just glad they were happy. Graham's phone buzzed. It was probably Betty saying that she was late, wasn't coming home till later or something like that. Graham loved her more than anything in the entire world, but she was a nightmare at times. He looked at his phone and the world changed. Protocol R. Graham knew the text message was a coded message from Betty, or someone they trusted. It meant the Russians were after them, and they needed to get to safety now. Shit, Graham said, already up. Protocol R. Sean and Harry immediately stopped in the kitchen, and they rushed out, passing Graham rubber gloves. He put them on, and Sean's tasteful pink highlights in his blonde hair went wild as he rushed to put them on. The gloves were to make sure they didn't touch any nerve agents, in case the Russians had already attacked the house or were about to. Sean and Harry rushed upstairs. The kids still didn't know anything was wrong. Graham ripped the cushions off the sofa and grabbed the large black suitcase underneath filled with clothes, baby toys and everything they needed. Sean and Harry rushed down a minute later with their own to-go bags. Someone pounded on the door. They had all practiced this so many times. Harry and Sean grabbed the kids gently and took them out into the kitchen. Graham picked up the black heavy crowbar that was also under the sofa. He went over to the door. It exploded open. A black armored woman stormed in. Graham swung it. The woman screamed. It smashed her hands. She punched Graham. He fell to the ground. The woman whipped out a pistol. Graham threw the crowbar at her. The woman dived to one side. Graham leapt up. He jumped on her. She punched him, knocking him off. She climbed on top of him, grabbing his neck. Graham felt she was about to tense. A bullet screamed through the air. Her corpse collapsed off him. Graham grabbed her pistol, aiming it at the door. Agent Daniels MI5 stormed in wearing a tight black suit and nodded at Graham. Harry and Sean ran towards them with the kids and to-go bags. None of them were messing about. The back door smashed open. More Russians were coming in. Graham grabbed his to-go suitcase, and everyone dashed into Agent Daniels' car. He just hoped that Betty was okay, and knew to follow the plan to the letter. Or all of them were going to die.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.